Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast. It is so great to be along with you today. What an amazing speech President Trump had last night. We knew it would be great. I didn't know it would be his best speech of his political career, and I really do believe that's what it was. But I want to talk about something maybe not more important, but equally as important, and that is the political foes that operate inside the halls of government, that will try to gum up the wheels of government, that will try to sabotage President Trump every step of the way, even inside this government today. Did you notice during President Trump's speech, and I don't want this to take away from his speech, I'm only calling attention to this because you need to know what the president is up against. He was overmodulated. Overmodulated means when your audio levels peak so high that it doesn't sound right. Did you notice that last night? This should not happen for the State of the Union address. I'm a TV guy. My ear hears it right away. It was meant to undermine President Trump's spoken word. The overmodulation was meant to sabotage President Trump's State of the Union address. To me, it is an absolute travesty that is allowed to happen. Whoever was behind the audio board needs to be fired. There are no such things as mistakes in Washington, D.C. You had a year to plan for this. And in fact, you practiced for this. There is no way, shape, or form that audio should have been overmodulated. What am I talking about, you may ask? Well, let me just play for you one short clip.
It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Do you hear that? It's overmodulated. Now, can you understand him? Absolutely. But it is meant to undermine the spoken word. It is meant to take away from President Trump's message. It did not work. President Trump's message was so great, and it got better towards the end. But way towards the end. This speech was 2 hours long, and it was a problem for well over 50%, if not more, of his speech. That is a real issue, my friends. And it goes to show you the deep state is very real. They operate at every level of government, even on a night like this. And don't think it's a coincidence. Don't think it's a mistake. Don't think it was oversight. This is 100% by design, and nobody was talking about it last night. We will go through some of the highlights of President Trump's speech. They were phenomenal, and he put them on the spot in only the way President Trump can do. The moment of the night was certainly when he asked people to stand. Do you respect the safety and security of American citizens over illegal aliens? And Democrats sat on their freaking hands. That was the moment of the night. But there were so many moments. We'll go through a lot of them. Before we do, folks, you know I love to tell you about my friends over at VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com. You're going to get a 2-week trial, a behind-the-paywall look at what my buddy Kip Harridge is doing over at VRA Insider Vertical Research Advisors. 37% returns over the last 3 years, averaging. 19 of the last 22 years, they have beaten the market. The year before last, they did 50% returns, okay? 50%. If you want to transform your portfolio and crush the market in a very simple way, 15 positions, never more than that. They average about a 30-day hold, so you're not day trading. You get the email alert every day. You get access to the back end, all for free for 2 weeks. VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com. I have taken a sizable portion of my portfolio. I created a new account inside my Schwab account. I've created a new account, and I'm solely using that for the VRA Insider system. And I'm already seeing big gains coming back in just the 2 weeks that I've actually transferred money over. So fabulous, fabulous folks over at VRAinsider.com. 2-week trial. You can't beat that. Totally free. Go sign up. VRAinsider.com. That's VRAinsider.com. All right. Let's get back to President Trump. All right. First, let's get the show started.
Uncensored and unapologetic. This is Stinchfield. Here's your host, Grant Stinchfield.
All right, folks, welcome back. So the message could not have been more important, and that is this.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Now, I don't expect the Democrats to stand for that part. I don't. No problem. But I do expect them to stand when an Olympic gold medal hockey team comes in. They don't. When a mother who lost her daughter's life at the hands of a violent thug because Democrat policies let this guy free. Of course, I'm talking about Irina Zarutska and her brutal killer. The mom is there grieving. You can't stand for her. And maybe the worst is when you're asked to stand to support American citizens and their safety and security over all others, and they can't stand for that. But you heard President Trump there. You heard the overmodulation of President Trump.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
That audio is not clean. That audio is overmodulated. It's what we call peaking. It's by design. It doesn't happen by accident, not at an event like the State of the Union. They have time to practice. They set these microphones up. You can bring the levels down at some point. They didn't. They let this go on for more than half of his speech. It was designed to take away from President Trump's spoken word. It was designed to undermine the power of President Trump's message. Quite frankly, quite clearly, quite honestly, it was sabotage. I don't know how else you explain it. There are no mistakes in Washington. Everything that happens in that city is by design. Do not believe in anything is a coincidence. Oh, wow, President Trump is speaking. It just so happens the one time the mic at the speaker's podium is overmodulated is when President Trump is speaking. Not a chance. And nobody, and I mean nobody, talked about this. It shows me how far the deep state is willing to go to undermine President Trump, to put roadblocks in his agenda, to take away from his message to the American people, to call out his credibility simply because the audio is not perfect. It was annoying. Now, maybe I'm more sensitive to it because I'm a TV guy. But it wasn't right. And whoever was responsible for that needs to be fired because I do believe it was purposeful. I'm not going to dwell on it. Okay? I won't dwell on it. But you need to know this is real. And if they're going to sabotage him on an open setting, on a huge stage like State of the Union night, where are they quietly sabotaging him? Where are they quietly operating? In the bowels of government, gumming up the cogs, putting sticks in the wheels. This is why nothing gets done in Washington. The deep state, the career bureaucrats are very real, and they do not want American success. They most certainly do not want President Trump's success. So that was upsetting to me tonight, last night. But as upset as I was about that, overshadowed by President Trump's greatness, overshadowed by President Trump's boldness, his ability to deliver a message in such a compelling way. The visuals of last night were fabulous. And the moment of the night, by far, was the moment he asked people to stand up for American citizens, and only the Republicans did. They couldn't do it. Now, this idiot, he's plastered all over the internet, half asleep at the wheel. But let's play this moment with President Trump. Amazing, amazing stuff.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Did you hear it? I want you to hear it again because I want you to hear it full, clean audio. I'm not sabotaging President Trump.
Then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
That's an easy stand, man. You see any Democrat standing? I don't. Look at that picture. They sit there on their freaking asses. President Trump pointing it out. Imagine. Half the chamber sitting down. Who's the first priority? American citizens or illegal aliens? And they can't stand for American citizens. What an absolute freaking disgrace. President Trump's disgusted by it. I don't blame him. Every Republican standing for American citizens. This is him calling them out, putting them on the spot like only President Trump can do. And they sit there, these dirty mother scratchers. I was so angry. I was cursing at the TV. That member is a sitting member of the United States Senate, a former military guy. He served in the military. And he sits there. You put a flag on your shoulder to protect American citizens and you sit on your ass?
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
They should be. Sitting on their asses. That told the entire story. That visual. Now, does it move the needle with a voting bloc? I think what few moderates are left in the country, I don't even understand what a moderate is. If you can't pick a side, how you're left in the middle, undecided, I have no idea. What is so radical about what Republicans want, what President Trump is fighting for? Safety and security of American citizens is radical? If you came here illegally, you got to go home is radical? I'm sorry, ICE agents have to wear masks over their faces because you Looney Tunes are trying to run them over with cars showing up at their families, following their families and wives home and taking pictures of them and threatening them. So you wonder why they wear masks? What do you want? They called them out. So I don't know what moderates are left. Quite frankly, I don't want to chase you moderates away, but you two are just as ding-dongy as the Democrats if you can't figure out what side to be on. But maybe that pushes some people over to our side. I don't think it moves the needle with Democrats. You should hear them, and I will play some of their reactions. They are on another planet when it comes to reality. Trump derangement syndrome is so real, it is so taken over, that they can't even critically think anymore. And honestly, they should be embarrassed by it all. You had Rashida Tlaib here that just sat on her freaking ass. And did you see her F ICE? She had an F ICE shirt on. That was literally the picture of I'm trying to find it. I want to find it for you. Because here. This is it. This is it. I got it. Do I? Maybe not. I hate when things don't go smoothly for me. This is what happens when you do it all on your own. But if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself, right? Let's see. Here we go. Rashida Tlaib. You see this? That is the face of a Democrat. Look at that smirk. That stupid liberal grin on her face with a pin that says F ICE. Is that your epitome of class? Because that's not class. That's disgustingness. What an ugly human being in every way, shape, or form, both physically and personally. And I'm sorry, personal insults. I know it's, not the most creative way to go after these Democrats. But, man, oh, man, what an ugly, disgusting human being, physically and mentally. More mentally, but pretty darn bad physically, too. Could you imagine being married to her? Oh, my God. Just a whining, angry witch with a B. That's what she is, a witch with a B. If I had my way, I'd just lay it out, man. I would. But I don't do that. I know we got a lot of people that don't like me cursing on this. I get emails all the time that says, don't curse, Grant, don't curse. Well, I can't help it that I curse because I get so angry about it all. So after President Trump made them stand, tried to make them stand, and they wouldn't, this was what unfolded.
Officials who block the removal of criminal aliens, in many cases drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, God. Ilhan Omar. I mean, what another disgusting individual. Rashida Tlaib next to her. Just look at the difference between how somebody like J.D. Vance and Speaker Johnson are put together compared to Omar and Tlaib. Gosh. That picture right there, another picture tells 1,000 words, right? So that was the moment. Them sitting for the safety and security of American citizens. Thank you, Captain Shelley. Yes, ick, she is evil and disgusting. Our captain, our moderator, agreeing with me. Go figure. Thank you, Shelley. So we're going to keep playing some moments here for you. But first, before we do, let me tell you about my friends over at the Wellness Company. TWC.health/Grant. Use that promo code GRANT for 10% off. Folks, I am using the Ultimate Spike Detox as a daily supplement. This gets the spike protein out of your system. I'm telling you, after what we've been through over the last 6 years, you need to be taking this supplement. The spike protein is about as bad as it gets, whether you got it from COVID or whether you got it from the vaccine. And the vaccine, it's like 100 times worse. But this Ultimate Spike Detox will transform your body around. When you start taking this, you will be amazed at how you feel. So I urge you, try this product, twc.health/Grant. Use that promo code GRANT. And I think the most important product the Wellness Company offers up is an emergency medical kit. It's really an emergency prescription medication kit. All these prescription medications made directly out to me. A doctor went over them with me, so make sure I'm not allergic to anything. Ivermectin in here. And by the way, I was just talking with Dr. Tapper yesterday about ivermectin and mebendazole being a cancer prevention treatment. That's what the Parasite Cleanse is from the Wellness Company. twc.health/Grant. Use that promo code GRANT. Man, I'm doing that twice a year, the Parasite Cleanse, because I believe parasites are responsible for cancer. And I believe this mebendazole and ivermectin is really showing cancer preventative and cancer curing properties. twc.health/Grant. Use that promo code GRANT for 10% off. All right, let's keep going down the hit parade. And it was a hit parade, by the way. Let's listen. This is Trump when he hit him on voter ID.
It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Simple prospect. Look at smug Jeffries.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
Yes. Do you hear, again, how overmodulated he is? Folks, it's the State of the Union. That's an important message. And I don't want to give them a victory that I'm talking about it because in many respects, they didn't know that I'd be on to them that this was sabotage. They never thought that would be talked about. They just thought it would take away from the quality of it all. Nope.
And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
Oh, wait. You mean like an absentee ballot? In fact, that's what it used to be called. If you're going to be on vacation or you're out of town or you were ill in the hospital and you couldn't get to vote, you filled an absentee ballot. Military members, of course, they can vote by mail from a foreign land. We don't need every single American citizen having a vote mailed to their house. Of course that's ripe for fraud. So President Trump doing a great job, and I mean a great job, of calling them out on that. And he kept it up on voter ID.
Why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
Dickie Durbin, he didn't know what to think. Chuck Schumer there at the bottom. There's Secretary of the Energy, Chris Wright, standing up, of course. These Democrats don't know what to do last night. That's why some of them walked out. They were like, 70, did I hear was the last number? Empty seats. Good riddance. They should have given their seats up to the U.S. men's gold hockey team. But they didn't. In fact, the hockey team had to come in, stand on the steps, and then leave. That kind of sucked. I mean, it was a great moment with them there, but couldn't they have taken the Democrats' seats? Democrats weren't going to give it up to men who love America. Men who love America. Man. So Trump calls them out on that. And this.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good.
So, wait a second. I mean, I didn't do this story. I don't know why. We ran out of time, other things. This was going on the last couple of days. And pray for New York. They need our purse. They're overloaded with snow, by the way. So they're hiring these snow shovelers. Any New Yorker that wants to work shoveling snow, $19 an hour. Here's some of the things where Mom Donnie is nuts. He says he wants a $30 minimum wage. But then he offers people $19 to shovel snow. Well, if you want a $30 minimum wage, let the city pay it. It's going to come out of taxpayer money. This is why I don't live in New York City. So $19 to shovel snow, not $30. First hypocrisy. Second hypocrisy is not one form of ID, but 2 forms of ID. So you need to prove who you are to shovel snow, but you don't need to prove who you are to go vote. Please, please, please tell me some Democrat out there sees the hypocrisy in this, sees how ridiculous they look. And this is why 85% of Americans, including Democrats, support the idea of voter ID. Show ID to shovel snow. No ID to vote. One of your most important civic duties we have. And in fact, today I'm doing my best to get out and vote. I'm in Texas, where we broadcast from. It is primary day here in Texas. Well, primary couple weeks. We have early voting leading up to the March 3rd primary. And so I'm going to go make my voice heard at the voting location today in the Park Cities. It's my favorite place to vote. It's a very popular place. A lot of candidates out there I can talk to. I make it a whole event when I go out there. I say hi to people. You know, it's a Republican primary, so you get a lot of committed MAGA conservatives, especially in Dallas. Now, Dallas is a blue city, but most of the who's who of Dallas are conservatives, and the area I go is a very conservative area. And so I love seeing Stinchfield's Army members. I hang out at the poll, shake hands. Maybe there's a candidate there I support. I'll work the crowd for them a little bit, and I make it a whole afternoon because I find it wildly fun. I love meeting strangers. I don't like hanging out with my friends as much. Don't tell my friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I've got maybe 4 really good friends. That's it. Maybe 4 of them. Beyond that, I know everybody. I got a million acquaintances. I got a million people that probably call me their friend. But I got 4 really good friends. Eagles soar alone. I've told you that before. I really do believe it. Eagles soar alone. All right. Continuing, President Trump.
No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Amen, brother. Oh, God, look at them. I can't take it. So, you want me to be the bearer of bad news? I don't have great faith that the SAVE Act gets passed. You know, I talked to Senator Ron Johnson on the Real America's Voice show last night. He was great coming on. And he said something that even if we go to the talking filibuster, it is not a sure thing. Because apparently, former senator put in place, I believe it was Robert Byrd, that the talking filibuster, you can keep adding amendments. And you can add unlimited amendments during a talking filibuster. So you don't really have to talk. Now, it's worth a try. But Democrats will keep adding amendment after amendment after amendment unless you shut that provision down. I don't know if there are enough strong Republicans in the United States Senate to do that. And if they don't do that or do away with the 60-vote minimum filibuster, it doesn't pass. And what's so maddening is that you have people like John Thune and other rhino Republican senators, Joni Ernst, Susan Collins, that are holding up the process because Chuck Schumer will not be the leader of the Senate if, God forbid, Democrats take it back. You will see a radical member of the, God forbid, it's Ralph Warnock from Georgia. Maybe we beat him. He's up for election. But you'll see a radical take over. They will throw out that 60-vote minimum quicker than you could say Timbuktu. So I promise you, the Democrats throw it out. And when I heard Ron Johnson say, look, it's not a sure thing, everybody knows it needs to be passed. And what about the DHS funding bill? That's still languishing as Americans suffer. They can't even shovel out. We can't even get FEMA in to help shovel out New York City because FEMA money shut down because of Democrats. This is an issue, a real big issue, by the way.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
I mean,
amazing. Seven. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Yeah. What in the world? We're talking about gender transition surgery. And gender transition surgery, and they still are hell-bent on it. Listen.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this?
Against the parents' will. Who would agree with that? All right, even if you are a complete and utter buffoon, and say, I believe in transgender therapy, and I say this and I say that, and you are a nutcase when it comes to all this. You're okay with doing it behind the parents' back? That's California. That's Gavin Newsom. That's who they want to run as their next president. Gavin Newsom, who says, you know what? Your kid can be a runaway and come to California, chop their nuts off, chop their breasts off, sew a big giant dingling dong on, and call yourself a boy. It's insanity to me.
We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
Look at them sit there. Cut your breasts off, sew a dangling dong on, call yourself a boy, and you don't want to ban that.
These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
You remember Crazy Eddie from New York? A lot of people aren't from the Northeast. It was Crazy Eddie. His prices were insane. Well, you know what? Their policies are insane. That's Crazy Eddie. It's the Crazy Eddie party. It really is. Their policies are insane. I think Crazy Eddie went to prison for income tax evasion. I actually had on the CFO of Crazy Eddie's on the Real America's Voice show a while back. What did he come on for? I can't remember. Decent guy. Smart guy, too, by the way. I should get him to come on and talk about the insane policies of the Democrats, like his old boss used to say about prices. Does anybody remember that out there? Our prices are insane. I don't know. I'm in a good mood today, and the reason I'm in a good mood is because President Trump is such a badass, man. I am so happy he's president. You want to know the only thing I'm sad about? Time goes by too fast. We're 13 months in. I can't believe we're a year into this. He still doesn't have many of his appointments put in place. My buddy is up for the ambassadorship of the Philippines. He's still waiting. Now, that should have been done ages ago.
The Somali community of...
Oh, this is good. This is a good one. This is where he goes and hits the Somali community.
The Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance.
So J.D. is going to end up being like... JD's going to end up being like Marco Rubio. Going to have 80 million projects going on. So he's going to run a fraud task force. Well, this goes downhill pretty good here.
We'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games.
No, they're not playing games. She's playing games. Whew. You see Ilhan Omar? She looks like she's going to cry. And I love President Trump's line. The Somali pirates that defrauded the people of Minnesota. That's what they are. They're Somali pirates. I am the captain now, they told Mayor Jacob Fry, who we'll get to in a little bit, my buddy Ben Berkwam on fire yesterday and beating people on the streets. So, yes, I'm glad they approached her on that. There were other parts where people couldn't stand. I'm gonna play that for you in just a moment. But before I do, I want to tell you about my friends over at Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. You know I love my Patriot Mobile phone. You know I love the people behind this company. And you know I tell you, if you are not with Patriot Mobile, you are funding the woke left. I would normally say there's no difference in service. Like, it's not going to hurt you to switch, except the service is better as far as 100% U.S.-based. You know that some of your money when you pay your cell phone bill is going to drive conservative causes across the country. And you can choose what network you want to be on. You can keep your number. You can even change what network during the course of your contract with Patriot Mobile, which gives them a performance guarantee like none other. If it doesn't work on the T-Mobile system, switch to Verizon. But you're paying Patriot Mobile, not Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile, because of the leftist causes that they support. It's a no-brainer to switch to Patriot Mobile. And the people there are great. So I can't wait to see them a little later next month, CPAC in Dallas. They're huge supporters of all of these things. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. Use the promo code GRANT for a free month's service, okay? Again, 100% U.S.-based customer service. Promo code GRANT, 1 free month. They'll make you a deal to switch over, too. Keep your phone, upgrade, get a new phone, keep your number, get a new number, whatever you want to do. Even 2 lines on 1 phone. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. All right, let's keep going. This was a moment that really tore me up. So as much as I love that President Trump took the fight to the Democrats, he put them on the spot. He was bold. He hammered away at them, okay? It was also a very emotional speech. I told Steve Bannon last night after on Real America's Voice, I said, look, I consider myself a tough guy. I worked for the NRA. I'm a lifetime NRA guy. I'm a personal protection guy. I think I'm a flamethrower. Nobody messes with me for the most part. I may not be the biggest, but I'm pretty formidable, okay? I bet you I welled up 5 times, 4 times, I don't know. Welled up during a State of the Union? Who wells up during a State of the Union? I do. These military awards that he gave out, the little girl who was smashed into by an illegal alien truck driver they didn't think would ever walk again, and she's in the chamber, hugging her dad, kissing her dad. It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. The rescue diver who rescued that little 11-year-old girl being driven away in floodwaters at that horrible, horrible situation in Texas when that summer camp got flooded through, and that rescue driver there with the little girl he saved. These were emotional moments. Irina Zarutska, I have made her the poster woman for bad Democrat policies. I would give up her as a poster woman any day if I could have her back. If we could have her back and she was alive today, because look at the pain that her parents had to endure. And again, the Democrats don't have any respect for these parents.
They slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
Next to Erica Kirk. Could you imagine going through what she went through?
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
You almost want to well up. I watch it again. You see the pain in that woman's face. Erica Kirk next to her, the pain that she's endured from the left-wing nutcase violence. The mother of Irina Zarutska. And the Democrats can't stand for that woman. It's sickening. President Trump summed it up. How do you not stand? How do you not? You're evil human beings. I don't even think your mothers would be proud of you. I have an issue with that, though. That's how deranged the left is. I don't think my mother's proud of me. She said I ruined the family name at one point. I still love her. She called me today, and we talk all the time. I love my mom. Don't get me wrong, and I know she loves me. But this is how divided we are in this country. That you're going to sit on your ass when a woman who lost her daughter at the hands of a violent criminal who was let out over and over and over again because Democrat judges refuse to put criminals behind bars. And you sit on your ass and show no support for that woman. I won't say it. I try not to drop F-bombs. That's one of the curses I try not to drop. But, like Rashida Tlaib's pin F ICE, F the Democrats. I really am. I'm so sick of them. It just, that moment right there made me absolutely, utterly sick to my stomach. Let's see. What's President Trump saying here? This is like soundbite slots. I used to play that game on my old radio show where they would just play random sound bites.
War places a heavy burden on our nation's extraordinary military families, especially spouses like Amy Williams from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and her two children, 6-year-old Eliana and 3-year-old Rowan. Amy works full-time and volunteers countless hours helping other military families. For the past 7 months, she has done it all while her husband, Sergeant First Class Townsend Williams, is in Afghanistan on his 4th deployment in the Middle East. Amy's kids haven't seen their father's face in many months. Amy, your family's sacrifice makes it possible for all of our families to live in safety and in peace, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Amy.
So here's another moment where it gets emotional. I mean, this is amazing here. Wait for what happens with Melania, our beautiful First Lady.
But Amy, there is one more thing. Tonight we have a very special surprise. I am thrilled to inform you that your husband is back from deployment. He is here with us tonight, and we couldn't keep him waiting any longer.
I love the surprise of the guy behind her. Look at this. That entire family sacrifices for us. The entire family. Not just that Marine, but the entire family. Can't believe it. At least it looks like the Democrats were standing there, right? I think. I'm shocked, quite frankly, that they were standing for that one. It was one of the few times they got up off their asses and stood up. God bless that family. There's so many moments, though. The National Guardsman who got shot in the head in D.C., and Trump tells the story about how he's talking to the mom, and the mom says, no, he's going to be okay. He's on his deathbed. He's going to die. No. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. And lo and behold, he's sitting in the State of the Union doing well. Gibberish Nation in the Rumble chat writes, Trump defined a clear divide of the goals and values of both parties last night that if taken into the voting booth, we have a great chance in the midterms. He has done his best. Now we need candidates. Well, I agree with you, G. I totally agree with you, but the candidates, too late now. We have who we have. Primaries are underway. We need to make sure the most conservative MAGA candidates win. And I think that's what you're getting at, and I agree with you. Because all of these Republican primaries going on, you've got rhinos and you've got MAGA guys. And Trump endorses people, but he's got other people in his ear when he's endorsing. Sometimes the endorsement isn't the best MAGA guy. I'm not going to give you an example of that right now. I'll do a little more research and give you an example of that, but do your research and find the most MAGA guy available and then vote for him and fight for that guy. What was another emotional moment? How about the hockey game and the goalie who got, what is it, the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The Democrats who sit for this. They won the gold medal not since 1980, and Michael Ruzioni and the heroes of the Miracle on Ice. America
Great
beat
athletes
Canada.
have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
Amen. And congratulations, boys. I mean, these are people that make millions of dollars, by the way. They're professional hockey players in the NHL, okay? And they played like they were high school and college kids for the thrill of victory, and that was it. Strapping the pads on just because they loved the sport, and more importantly, they loved the country. You don't see that in any other sport today. Love it. Love those guys. I may become a hockey fan now because, I'm kind of a hockey fan. I like my Stars and I like my Rangers. Stars more than Rangers because I've been a Dallas guy now for 25 years. I know you don't care about my allegiances to sports, but as many of you know, I have season tickets to the Mavericks. My son asked me, do you hope they lose out? I do, because could you imagine if we get another first-round pick, the Mavericks? It's so sad that without Kyrie and all these injuries that and just Anthony Davis, how awful a trade that was. I miss Luka so much. But we get another first-round pick if we lose out, so I say just tank it. So I love my Mavericks. I still follow the Knicks from New York. Baseball is the New York Yankees. I love them. I'll never give them up. There's no other team that even comes close to me other than the Yankees when it comes to baseball. Hockey, I'm a Stars fan, but I still follow the New York Rangers because that was my team when I was a kid. And I guess that's your major sports. I know you all cared about where my allegiances was in sports while we're talking about the State of the Union. But I'm going to play a clip for you from Fox News. I saw this last night and thought I'd play it because it sums up the divide in America today of how far away we are. Now, I want you to listen to the measured, centered tone of the Republican voter versus the delusion, ding-dongness, and flat-out wrong. He's not lying because he truly believes it, the Democrat. Okay, so that's why I'm not going to call it a lie. Because he believes the untruths that he's telling. But listen to this.
falling into tribalism, to where if you don't agree with the president, it's okay to be disrespectful to the country. It's okay to be disrespectful to the Constitution and not to act to have civility. As a person that was a teacher, students would say things that other students didn't disagree with. I didn't say it was okay to just walk outside the classroom, because we expect a certain decorum and a certain level of class and civility that we all have as Americans. And what we're seeing now with the left is because they didn't get their way, even though Barack Obama deported as many people more than President Trump, even though he talked about tariffs. Now a lot of things that were common sense before they disagree with because it's politically advantageous, they think it's okay to now scream and leave the room, and we're seeing a collapse of what we just consider civility in our country.
Now, level-headed, right? I mean, it's accusatory, yes, but it's also based in fact, and it's not just hurling wild insults, okay? It's an assessment based in fact.
Yes, I understand, like the civility and decorum of January 6th. That's
okay. Or we could talk about as many times as agents have came under attack in Minneapolis, and they've done nothing about that.
Agents,
so
yes,
federal agents, federal agents,
right? Who are mad.
Do you see how angry the Democrat is? Like, they can't be civil and have a conversation. January 6th, dude, you're so asleep that you don't even realize what January 6th really was. And again, another ass clown is going to join in.
Running around. Right.
Okay, so I guess it's okay.
Brutalizing people who don't deserve it.
How many people have been killed? How many people have been killed by illegal immigrants in this country? Does that matter?
Not that many.
Not that many. Are you kidding me? We have thousands of Americans killed by illegal aliens, drunk driving being the number one killer when it comes to illegal aliens killing American citizens, drunk driving. That drunk-ass driver didn't need to be in the country. He never would have killed an American citizen, not to mention all the crime, not to mention the fentanyl that many of the illegals bring in. You have tens of thousands of Americans that have died at the hands of illegal aliens, and he says not that many. This is what we're up against when we have half the country that is literally a blind liberal zombie that can only follow the direction of the mainstream media, the fake news media, and dopey Democrat leaders like Chuck Schumer and AOC and the rest of them. All right, I've got a very special lunch I've got to get to today, so I'm going to cut it here. Folks, let me just remind you, too, I hope you've checked out the website of themavericksystem.com. This is called the Maverick Mindset, themavericksystem.com. To become an alpha, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're an adult or a teenager, this course, it's more of a protocol, a system, a method, will help you become the person that you know you already are. And that's really what this is for people who know what they are, but want to polish it up and make sure they get what they want in the end. That's what the Maverick System is all about. You want to turn yourself into an alpha? This is what you do. A respectful alpha, not a loudmouth. Respectful, a fine-tuned machine that all of a sudden abundance starts coming to you. TheMaverickSystem.com. I wrote it. I teach it. And I hope you enjoy it. TheMaverickSystem.com. TheMaverickSystem.com. All right, folks. With that, we're going to call it a day, and we'll see you on the Real America's Voice show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is always a great show. We had a great show last night. I mean, we had Byron Donalds on. We had Troy Nehls, a great congressman from Texas. We had Attorney General Ken Paxton. We had Senator Ron Johnson on. Steve Bannon was a part of the program. It was a great show last night. I'm just going to say I'm on brag because I'm loving what Real America's Voice is doing right now. I really, really am. If you're not tuned in to Real America's Voice, you need to be. Hottie 3G, thank you for, I will enjoy the lunch. Thank you for being here. Everybody was commenting in the chat. Please like, subscribe, share the podcast to our YouTube audience. We had I started to have high hopes for YouTube, and then we came crashing back down to reality. To the 3 people that are there, one is our Captain Shelley, probably. So to the 2 people that are in YouTube, thank you. Try this out, folks. Google Stinchfield Money Uncensored or in the YouTube. It's another podcast I'm doing on finances, okay? On money. Stinchfield Money Uncensored. Maybe we get more viewers there, and it looks like we already have because I did it under a whole different profile. Brand new email address. There's no way YouTube can know it's me other than by seeing it's me, but let's hope they can't figure that out. All right, folks. God bless all of you. Stinchfield's Army rolls. We'll see you tomorrow and tonight. Thanks for watching.